In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the United States experienced explosive economic growth, but beneath the surface, the system was fragile. Banks were lightly regulated, corporations were deeply interconnected, and speculation often outpaced reality. When confidence collapsed, the results were devastating. One of the most powerful examples was the financial panic that crashed America and exposed the dangers of unchecked capitalism. The roots of America's great panics lay in rapid industrial expansion. Railroads, steel mills, and factories required enormous amounts of capital. Banks eagerly provided loans, often with little oversight. Investors poured money into stocks and railroads, driven by the belief that growth would never end. Speculation became common, and many fortunes were built on borrowed money. One of the most infamous crashes was the Panic of 1893. By the early 1890s, the railroad industry, once the engine of growth, was in trouble. Too many rail lines had been built, often in areas that could not support them. Companies borrowed heavily to expand, expecting profits that never materialized. When several major railroad companies failed, panic spread rapidly through the financial system. Banks were the next to fall. At the time, there was no federal insurance to protect deposits. When rumors of bank failures began to circulate, frightened Americans rushed to withdraw their savings. Bank runs became common. As banks collapsed, businesses lost access to credit, forcing layoffs and closures. Within months, the economy spiraled downward. Unemployment soared. By 1894, an estimated 1 in 5 American workers was jobless. Factories shut down, wages fell, and breadlines formed in major cities. Farmers suffered as crop prices collapsed, pushing many deeper into debt. For ordinary Americans, the crash was not an abstract financial event. It was a daily struggle for survival. The government's response was limited and controversial. President Grover Cleveland believed strongly in limited federal intervention. He argued that the economy should correct itself without government aid. As a result, relief efforts were minimal. This stance fueled public anger and deepened political divisions. Social unrest followed economic collapse. In 1894, unemployed workers joined a massive protest known as Coxey's Army, marching on Washington to demand government-funded public works jobs. Though peaceful, the march shocked the nation by revealing the scale of suffering. It also signaled a growing belief that the government had a responsibility to protect citizens during economic crises. Another major shock came in 1907, during the Panic of 1907. This time, the crisis began with a failed attempt to manipulate stock prices. When the scheme collapsed, trust in banks and financial institutions evaporated. Once again, bank runs spread across the country. The financial system teetered on the edge of total collapse. With no central bank to manage the crisis, salvation came from private wealth. Financier J.P. Morgan stepped in, organizing emergency loans and forcing banks to cooperate. His actions stabilized the system, but they also revealed a troubling truth. America's economy depended on the decisions of a single private individual. Many Americans questioned whether democracy could survive such concentration of financial power. The repeated panics exposed deep flaws in the American economic system. Speculation ran unchecked. Banks operated without strong regulation. Ordinary citizens paid the price when elites took risks and failed. These crashes shattered the myth that the free market always corrected itself without human cost. Public pressure for reform grew. The Panic of 1907 directly led to the creation of the Federal Reserve System in 1913. For the first time, the United States had a central bank designed to manage liquidity, stabilize markets, and prevent future collapses. While it did not eliminate financial crises, it reduced the likelihood of complete systemic failure. The panic that crashed America left a lasting legacy. It reshaped economic policy, strengthened calls for regulation, and changed how Americans viewed capitalism itself. Trust in banks and corporations was deeply shaken. The belief that government should play a role in protecting the economy gained widespread support. These early crashes offer a powerful lesson. Economic growth without safeguards invites disaster. When speculation replaces stability and profit outweighs responsibility, collapse becomes inevitable. The panic that crashed America was not just a financial event, it was a turning point that revealed the true cost of unchecked power in fragile systems. Even today, Echoes of these panics can be felt in modern financial crises. Understanding how America crashed in the past helps explain why vigilance, regulation, and accountability remain essential. History makes one truth clear: when confidence breaks, an entire nation can fall with it.